We're talking about Igor Stravinsky, the great Russian composer of the 20th century. Last week we talked about his life story and the main masterwork of the 20th century, The Rite of Spring, was our topic last year. And the scandal that happened during the first performance of this great piece for ballet and orchestra. He had created 3 masterpieces in the first 10 years of the 20th century. These were Firebird, Oiseau de Feu, Petrushka, and The Rite of Spring, Le Sacre de Printemps. Now, all these 3 masterworks were based on Russian traditions, Russian folk tales, Russian shamanistic rituals, Russian puppet shows, all of them a different topic. Now, Petrushka is about the Russian folk tales, and at the same time the religious festivals that are sort of mixed with folklore. For instance, there's a festival after the great, the big Lent, which is the time when Orthodox Christians fast, like our Oruç, you see. After the fasting, they have great festivities, and during these festivities, in the big centers of the big cities, there are folk festivals. And during these folk festivals, there are street theaters, puppet shows, all sorts of fun, dancing, and jongleurs, any kind of magicians. Magicians showing their great works and everything. So Petrushka is actually about these festivities. The first time it was performed, it was in 1911 in Paris. The orchestra, the conductor of the orchestra was the French conductor, Pierre Monteux. Pierre Monteux was one of the patrons of the 20th century contemporary music. He was very enthusiastic about new music, and he was always at hand to help the young composers of the 20th century. The first performance took place in Théâtre de Châtelet, and the choreographer was the Russian choreographer Michel Fokine. And the story is actually is very simple. When the curtains open, we have the festivities on a big center of the city. There's a great big crowd. There is street sellers and jongleurs and magicians and all sorts of musicians, people dancing, and some of them drinking. There is even a bear, which is a performing bear. You know, the Russian bear is very famous. Have you ever seen performing bears in Turkey? Any of you? It's forbidden now, but it used to be. You know, you would see bears performing in the streets. Maybe 20 years ago. Until 20 years ago, this was something quite common. Now it's forbidden. Hiçbiriniz görmediniz. Ha?
Kemal filmlerinde vardı.
Nerede?
Filmlerden hatırlıyorum.
Filmlerde tabii. Şey der mesela, dayının sahibi. İşte hanımlar hamamda ne yapar diye sorar. Seninkisi savunduğun üstüne lak düşer filan. The poor bear, I mean, I suppose it should be very, very difficult for them to teach to perform. Yeah, it's quite cruel. But it used to be very funny for us children to watch these bears, you know, performing. Anyway, it was not only for us people in Turkey, but in Russia, apparently, the same thing was happening. What else? So, after all these, you know, shouting and dancing, and some Cossacks coming and showing their special dances. A sort of a magician, but the puppet show master comes in. He's called a charlatan. Charlatan meaning someone who thinks, or who wants the audience to think that he has many magic powers. And he has these 3 puppets. One of them is Petrushka. Petrushka is made of straw. He's a puppet, but he has emotions, human emotions. The other one is the ballerina. Ballerina is very pretty girl, is a very pretty girl. And the third one is the Moor. Moor is a black man. He is very masculine. He doesn't have many emotions. He's only masculine, and at the same time he can be very angry. So these 3 puppets. And with his flute, the magician, the charlatan, with his flute, makes them become alive, and they start their very funny dance. That dance, the music of that dance, is the most famous piece of music of the 20th century. Almost every music lover would know that, the music of the 3 puppets. And later on in his lifetime, Stravinsky have transcribed this part, and the whole of Petrushka's music, for the piano, for the solo orchestra, all these transcriptions. And Petrushka's 1911 orchestration was again transcribed by Stravinsky himself in 1947. That version was different. Before we go any further, I would like you to listen to the 1959 performance of the Petrushka music, only for the orchestra, conducted by the conductor who conducted the premiere, Pierre Monteux, and Boston Symphony Orchestra. that really bothered Igor Stravinsky a lot during his lifetime. Because he left Russia before the revolution, all these copyright contracts have become useless. And of course, after the revolution, the Soviet Socialist Republic did not recognize Stravinsky's works anymore because he didn't go back to Russia after the revolution. So his copyright situation was really very bad. He wasn't able to ask for the rights of his music when they were performed. And this created a very important situation because his works were played and he didn't get any payment. So he was in a very bad financial situation. What he did do at that time